Friday, February 2, 2024. Time just about gone 28 minutes past 1. And they fear that. Oje fubusumi neda etosu eminu. Afimpinu eduno enine. Ene eye dapon eye ese Kwame Despite. Or the founder of the Despite Media Group and a host of other companies coming under the group. Yena woda into Nyankropon Twidiampon. And ode ese Kwame Despite ebe wiase. Ema ni wiase ode ne baaye no. Oma ni nimdie. And nimdie no ese Kwame Despite no anya ne ho nte ase se. Ode beboa amansan na anyi ono nko a na ebedi so aba emum edom empempem na ebedi so aba dise onyankropon ema afe no ehya ase na kɔ na wie ye na san beto eso ode afeka nimfie ho a na ehia aseda tronko ti ade bema awurade sɛ watimi ahwɛ kandini na ɛsɛ Kwame Despite no so ama ehom frofro wa anompo aso dom so sɛ mekura meti ha ne bi aso me so nto nyame ne da na se sɛ na ɛsɛ Kwame Despite ɔno ɛyɛ founder chairman of the group Despite Media na ene odina woda nyame ma na woda pa na ene enye aduane nwanwa bi aso na ebeka na no emom na ebefufuto na yede kosu ato so na ɛyɛ nano ɛho ɛyɛ den enya akwadworo na ɛsɛ Kwame Despite nyame nka ho dem wa woda pa ni TFM ha sei adwumayefo ne nyinaa obia ni agye sɛ sabre yi na asoen na no so nka sɛ ma yenye adwuma a sɛsɛ yɛ ma ɛdɔm no a mu nyinaa mu bɔ mo mpaye de ma na ɛsɛ Kwame Despite no so mo betie bi nti ene da point February 2 2024 yi no me manti dwumadie na yɛde brɛmo na me manti dwumadie ya yɛde brɛmo me a medi ho chia me sɛsɛ ADAKABRI Mamudu Osioma na senior co-characters Amansachi Amekwabnamafo Majeros Ajima. They are all at large omoye nyuma foforo so de ama yene na production si anyi kwadwo damiado ne naso na no akiri no na yede asedan so de makwefri yi a ohwe emrante kwa no eso afi technical production abena frema abankro na ya safo so ene behwe ama streaming ni nyina etimi abaso afi no engineers no achu agbo worker kwatia kwa na jare na aboaje adasankonoma yesane mrane se sempro afi facilities group for no eno so big solo ena dada ena Godfred your friend Ubrana na afi so no Mapuna ena afi so no Mills yesane mrane se tetai omu nyina etato ena yede dwuman yede bremo nti ene chicha interviews kakra enso ewo ho na normal ekoso so movement for change afrafranto alankojo chirematene national economic summit enimdifo atnase a yesu ayadwene na ni nyina bekomu sesi ye ho mfie aduanan free sabre ya kosi 2063 a ede na wose yetimi hyehye to ho se wo plan into wo plan no a na plan no ede wo kɔ a particular goal na yede ehunu baby eti enei se wo hwɛ Ghana abakwasam kura no a na yeka se increasing. That's that time no more and Nkrumah never dies, and Nkrumah never dies. Ukusa kwesi prato be catch no, and Nkrumah never dies no. Na enyesa physically, ba me Nkrumah on onwu. Na emum na eyesa spiritually no. Ba me Nkrumah na no asem no. Ne ketrema no emproda. Eno ene kokofa Nkrumahism de ebaye. Eno ene fa Nkrumahism that word no. Say na just ba me Nkrumah lives beyond ne teno akura ene na no asem kura no enti de ka se Nkrumahism ene yi se wo hwe alankodwo chirematene ba bi ekwedia let's just say traumatism because nin semwa epue ede ba no eno na ebetena se ama ayeja na ye dum na ye mframa na bibia na bedru brebi no ya tena ba bia ka say that blueprint way the great transformation plan way traumatism let's just say who develop edeba eti da bia ideology na nu asem no na ene omode ekoso ewo ehine moving pick ambassador hotel na ekoso na nyame adoma ye bewie bibia no na ehunu say would we have enough to say traumatism anan traumatism and we best spelling is say but you got that we best spelling say traumatism inti na ya de ekwahwe zuguzu a ozo spelling amame democrat I would also kakra wa ha na eno so ebeba na pempenifo so aba betrase na ya dwendweno don't forget so say a year 24-hour economy John Dramani Mahama in the eastern region report no so eba and sama ewo na nsa na ya san e de aba behwe the Wednesday February 7, right? Wednesday February 7 and also so no Dr. Mama de Baumia or also so at the name be what him at the ababeto on my mind. Gradually we are getting there. You bet me and say obia concrete plan. Na afe Ghana for ya imagine you want you make us a be na yetimi atena se ehunu say we die nie na yetimi e de hu right answer na first interview no kura be ba no yes quick one Ghanaian Observer the newspaper na or the Ghana man panyin pulling the aba or see Euro African trade or see new paradigms needed for increased investment Akufo Addo another than Akufo Addo and say President of the Republic or say your name Europe it's a continental Europe grand and a bibri was in ye dwadi no or see he answers for it be the nyina na igusu a ye dwendwene ho dey betimi ehunu se de normal ebeka daily graphic and ono so the aba nen semini bi Justice Agbenosi and or the by or say criminal justice reforms before cabinet Attorney General Godfred Yabua Dame Attorney General and Obeka say Attorney General office no omo the a table a bill before cabinet just say criminal justice there or mine and she said no idea go akwam so bi bibia tia or mine na or mine ni betin tam so dia ko George for any makwadie no and he say ye pese sachere mu titru say jury and some ni bi ono mu a na yetimi appoint jury o makotena se na jury na tia asem nyina na judge direct wo mo no mangu ekwa fa so nyina se jury system no o mo e ba behwe se de normal ebisi afa e de akọ right enti se de me kan ye se enei major political leaders wo man mu ha sei John Dramani Mahama wanam eno obontoa kan ni nsem ni bie no se economic blueprint obehwe se e de be ye adwuma no ene na kofa 24-hour economy e de ba ya on top of people's minds to talk about 24-hour economy ni nyina che John Dramani Mahama say to increase and I say unemployment ye bitimi ahwe asi no ma bia non yenhwe na production levels no nkosoro na yanya adwuma 24 hours production lines no ya ramp up na nya adwuma 24 hours the nipa dodo ni nya adwuma ni bi enye 24-hour economy ni kan then at the University of Cape Coast and the Vice President of the Republic okoka blue blue economy and I say blue ocean economy no so na marine no ma ekoso honum no and so okaye no so blue no kwa koduru ye to aba edema no be flag bearer of the Republic flag bearer of the party MPP and so oka ni vision kakra your person oye ni say nei or say Wednesday February 7 obehwe na waba be kasa kire o manma nei alanko jo kire matene on so en ewo henefa or moving big ambassador hotel awu gusua great transformational plan no national economic summit omukusu a omuso esu adwene na political marketing strategist Professor Kobi Mensah. And as a political marketing expert, no, Yanini Ninkomo, he's also a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Professor Kobi Mensah, Yamwaha. Hello, Prof. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Me say, I got some million kasa this year,
Yes. I've been committing. I say na Prof. Why you Juma? Ama yenyina ye hu say kona ni papa.
Excellent.
Right, 2024 election year. It steam no. I feel na ye crank it up. May, June, July, up to August na hit it up. Baby obi agina. Now we hear of John Dramani Mahama going around the country, speaking about the 24-hour economy, especially when he met up with the Trade Union Congress. Then also MPP voted November 4 for Vice President of the Republic. Okaka Krebi, he has his own vision. He told us about it. Now, February 7, he's going to address the nation and tell us more about their original Ediaye. Then in January 5, 6, the Great Transformational Plan. Last year, Alan Kojo Martin also talked about the Great Transformational Plan in an address to the nation. Today, as we speak, he's holding up what we call the National Economic Summit. Just Nipa Huduo academics and diplomats and akosia media nipa bebre and akosia. As a political marketing expert, what do you make of what is happening now at the beginning of the election year?
Okay, I think that you will see about politicians who are about for how I want start 2024, campaign journey, and penny and go for elections on your issue base. I'm sure that if you budget to man, then you can be at this election of so because it looks like the political parties and the politicians, will be one make sure that or the hotel than you do and message or woman for what that starts. And it's all condemned and you can be able about it because you budget to be the elections in your issue base at then it's 2024 no. Because the American in there, I think that Alan Chamantin will assemble quite a lot of in various sectors of the economy. I offer non-partisan conference, another summit. I think it's summit we are now. One find discuss among himself. I think that it's very commendable effort because. In some of our economy, I think there will be a issue concern there on the economy. I think developmental issues, politicians, was one I dream about how we economy so all together. I think they are born about the papa for what they have started on the 2024 election.
Now, looking at the Ghanaian voter psychology. The Ghanaian voter, do we appreciate a tangent here, key political leadership, Ashas Ekuyana?
Of course, we appreciate. I mean, it's in the corridors of most businesses and other most companies, even echo areas in the Ambia today, schools, universities, school Ponomu, echo Asorumpa and Kofuroka, and yet the BIA will how our Ghanaians work. And yes, people really appreciate that in the elections, you can about the able to be amount of wisdom and other economy. They really appreciate, and I'm sure that how our politicians were starting, every Ghanaian will be happy that number one on the agenda is about how able to yama and livelihood will improve other than. I think that it is in the right direction, and I'm sure that Ghanaian voters will appreciate.
Professor Kobi Mensah, what share, especially in the fourth democratic dispensation from 1992, as there's been over-relying reference to political parties, their performance in the politics or my way same. But looking at the representation of the People's Act, a govern when the Yantuaba and it names personalities. Na ya tu abaso so mano a personality ni din and your boss sa nipa sumasi way has been validly elected as the president of the republic. Sa wutie Aferijan asema obeka Charlotte or say asema obeka Jean Mensa asema obeka. Dien ye betimi aye ama citizens no a place more premium on what these leaders presidents no they stand for rather than political parties now an assembly of army that supports them no political parties more.
Well, in the democratic dispensations, I think that every regime and every country, as I have a constitution or government. In fact, some countries, one constitution each other, a banner will be formed by parliament. I mean, the parliamentary, we call it parliamentary in a system of governance. In this echo UK there, on yet presidential or parliamentary, actually, parliamentarians will come together. Say, we need to sit in and our is and a prime minister, for example. Echo US, I wanted to be a different, wanted to be a presidential. See, yes, party mechanism, Nipo day, the party, by a president, but again, they allow for independent candidates. Young system is that of the US presidential election. Of course, we tend to say that Ghana is combined, as in parliamentary plus the presidential style, but it's very much not necessarily Westminster style, but it's a presidential style of, But over the years, because of the way the colonial system up to the time it has been more of party political, governance. Bibi and Sue Obi Kwan to go as an independent. Only that young practices now are very much party political. Over the period, independent individual people have attempted to become, president. Won't do, baby. But I think that if you won't wait and how one elections, one campaign in the corner, Anya Zana all year strong enough. I will go to wait changing of one attitude and one perspective on what or who to elect to become president. And to say, to be to know to the opera or no on busy party, but obey independent candidate. I think that strengthening depends on Nippon how to conduct the campaign. My mouth we believe that indeed. You put my tuama and could be more busy, president. You have to be critical mass. Say a busy and I determination one side. At least you don't need less than 50 people to govern the country. Do you have that critical mass people to be able to do that? Once you're able to show that gravitas, you're able to show that capability. Now, I'm sure they're able to convince the people that want to abandon money and busy. Constitution, you have to be a party before you can actually win the election. No. Also, they're a presidential form of governance. So definitely, if you can demonstrate mettle, you can demonstrate capability that you can rally, the necessary human resources are able to warm is the president and better the lots of the people. Why not? You can do that. In the immediate a Colombian to be the original independent party candidate to win. Now you have the right, you have the room to do that. Only if you can demonstrate capabilities, competencies, and then the ability to marshal the needed resources to actually govern. That's what it needs.
See, Sabeka said, framers of the Constitution, what were they looking for when we made it say individual be Kobe Mensah put his name forward to be voted for as a president of Ghana? Na utimi edit be an vision, ne programs, utimi articulate, advocate, edit voters. Then when voters are convinced that he has demonstrated capability to deliver on the advocacy or the visioner. Not yet to about at the amano. Consequently, the electoral commission comes in and says, in this election held on such a date, such a date, such a date, number of persons voted and then rejected ballots, whatever. Kobe Mensah validly elected as president of the republic, thereby stating clearly the buck stops with Kobe Mensah. Sadie way, Ufri Sadia man, framers of the constitution,
Okay, I think that usually no one aware constitutional, what do you call political scientists would be better to answer questions. But I think that if I should, come in with my a little bit of experience, I'm no one. I feel that actually, going forward conversation, the political discourse, so called the framers of the constitution might have looked at the possibility of clique, tribal issues, ethnic, compositions, etc., to rather move into a presidential-centered kind of governance than, a party, a parliamentary system, for example, because the Ayendama, Obibotum, another tribe, another clan, if they can persuade others to join them to actually win a presidency and then tilt the development or the well-being of the people towards their clan, for example. If you're an individual, you are not likely to do that. You probably have to form alliances amongst other individuals from other places to be able to do that, which means that you are likely to have a much more diverse kind of governance than, having a unitary homogeneous group, if they had to rely on institutionalized, like as you painted it. Is I think that one is to ensure diversity, to make sure that the resources of the country doesn't get into one tribe, another one group, ethnic group, another a certain section of the country in their hands, in order to sort of deny other ethnic groups the access to the resources of the state. I think this is one of the the values the framers of the constitution might have actually looked at. But of course, I'm sure on one way of constitutional politics would better be able to give you responses to them. I can.
Notwithstanding, Professor Kobe Mensah, the limited explanation, which you said by experience, Noah. I just said there's a recognition. Say, Yantua Bama enipa bako, and as you earlier said, now on a bit me masha resources. Now what me I redistribute to and manage the country very well. So we are on same tangent. Say, one person, one leader. And you better abamano no numum at me masha resources no now what me I redistribute to now what me I govern the country.
Yeah, technically no only one person per se, because don't forget what we call party political system all right the person into the leadership. But then again the constitution also doesn't restrict the only party political, but it says that as an independent person you can also contest if you have the ability to rally the people around. That's why constitution is today. Say a party, you should have a representation across the 16 regions. An individual, you should have the representation across the 16 regions. Meaning that you are not in yourself the only person, but you have to form critical alliances. In the political balance, we can talk about coalition of interest groups. We push you forward. Now, then accept the rest of the country. So the constitution allows both sides, all right. Not only as an individual, but you can use party as an instrument, or you can go in as an individual, connecting critical mass of people to be able to gain political power.
Yani Professor Kobe Mensah is a political marketing expert and a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. And Komo, Ghana, gearing up in 2024 general elections, later in the year. Now, a key political leaders are Omo, and okay, Prof. Yen sense it as an whether we can see something different from earlier positions here. What me at the brain. One, in the case of China, identity and as political brand, yes, just who opened up China, who brought about this prosperity in China. Dan Xiaoping of the Communist Party and the Bunny Ding Dan Xiaoping. Ne yam mo the Communist Party of China edin.
No, yeah, but Communist Party of China, I don't think that anybody can do the analysis of China and its development without mentioning the Communist Party. We do. Only that the parties are actually headed by a visionary leader are only the partners. The same thing as a partner says, Nipana Bana says, one year, in addition to the political party. Don't forget, China as a communist state, does not rely on only the independent individual party, but of course the communist party is also in there. But the key is about the driver. I mean, the visionary person who drives the political party, and that also suggests that, or you can argue that if you take out the partner, could the individual have done something better? Maybe yes, or maybe no. You have to actually look at the strength of the political party as well as the strength of the individual now or headed party. So in that space, you probably would have to do justice to both analysis of the individual person who held that vision, and then, of course, the political party that propelled that person into power. The same way you can talk about Malaysia. I mean, the growth of Malaysia is always pinned on the leader of that particular regime. Of course, the party might have played a role, but the individual person with his vision is actually dominant in that conversation. Eba Ghana, you certainly cannot leave out Kwame Nkrumah, but the question is that you cannot also talk about Nkrumah's vision and leadership without CPP, for example. All these ones, when you're doing the analysis, you have to bring them into perspective.
Because good, you are talking about Ghana and Nkrumah, then Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, and then in the US, either Lincoln or George Washington. I don't know which is your preference. And then Gandhi. And so we begin to look at that visionary leader. No? If in this instance, Ghana, the representation of the People's Act was set to Abama Nipa Way as president of the Republic, if we are to have that person as a visionary leader with a concrete plan and a goal where he wants to take Ghana to, at the end of the day, no say it me successful, and yes, I need anything, and yabebo.
Now, of course, we mentioned the Nipani. Obviously the leaders, the individual people who lead the party one vision, or drive party performance. No doubt about that. But of course, in a party political system, in a party political governance, you can also talk about a party new role of play. But that is what we're saying, that most of the time, the vision of the person who is leading is very, very crucial. You end up mentioning the names of the individual people, because if they are not visionary people, the country cannot go anywhere. Because obviously in the end the box stops with that person, that individual person, or drive agenda, and the box stops with them. And I think that it is very, very important that the leader is visionary, and then the leader has the wherewithal, the competency to actually drive the agenda. No doubt about that.
Finally, Professor Kobi Mensah, John Dramani Mahama, 24-hour economy. Ubeka say, I know they are just about a year, a bit of management of the Ghanaian economy, and a year can. Na Alan Kojo Martin brings about the great transformational plan, and then Dr. Mahaman Baumia have my own separate vision. Then we expect to hear him on Wednesday, February 7. What should we be looking for in having to manage the state of Ghana now and the way forward? Is it in the medium term, in the long term, or in the medium term? Anna, I'll see you here.
I think that when you talk about management of the country now, you can talk about all of them. I mean, you cannot talk about long term without talking about short term, medium term. At the end of the day, within the short term, people must actually live. You know, people have health needs. People have health needs. People have educational needs as we speak. People have, what do you call, welfare needs. At the same time, we need to look at long-term sustainability of the economy of the whole society. We need to talk about reforms. Things that could actually get us into a proper 21st century society. And when you talk about what we expect, when we expect a very robust economic plan long term, we expect a very immediate.
Don't go further. A robust economic long-term plan.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We expect an immediate, efficient, economy that actually delivers for people, because people need jobs. People need, well-paid jobs, for example. People need welfare. People need health care, for example, immediately. So we need that one as well. But any of these things that we need someone who would have the wherewithal and the competency and the will to make sure that all these things work, at the same time. Because nobody can wait for, people are not waiting for you long term. They want something delivered now. And at the same time, they want the system to work in future and be sustainable for their kids, So we need somebody who is all around immediately to solve the problem of the society.
Indeed, we cannot afford rhetoric and misinformation and propaganda.
That one there, we don't need it. I don't think that Ghanaian people need those things now. Because for now, you need to for papa. Maybe economy, be an people's capital are actually washing away. People's livelihoods are washing away. People don't have hope for the future. So we need something to be done immediately, and then we need a reform of the system to ensure sustainability.
Professor Kobe Mensah, there was a pa near we and come on here. Right. Professor Kobe Mensah is a political marketing expert and a lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. And I train and come here. Rhetoric bia ye here misinformation bia ye here propaganda bia ye here ni nyina bi ye here obi a clearly no concrete just a visionary a obetimi aka say yefri ha na ye nyina ye ntimi ahwehwe say ede ne be free mu Eddie Abba, enti guso na etie neat 100.9 FM. Na osusu views bi a wo no ubetimi Eddie Abba. Ana nana every year Deborah. Also really going through a lot and feel like taking my life. Need someone to talk to, please. Keep listening to us and we will continue to talk to you. And every year Deborah, okay? And every year, Deborah, it's not an option, okay? Collins, was the ADAKABRI, go away with your butterfly. We are fed up with you guys. And also, Eddie Ebaye. I am Elliot Tutu. And also, Busan and every year, Deborah said, why? Just a DNT now was saying, you want to take up your life. And Busan said, why? And Sandra Banafo on Facebook Live was a talk of the mentioned that the politics he knows is only in books, not on the grounds. And Ode Ebaye. Sandra then chips in a word for a year and every year, Deborah. Why should you tell us if you want to end your life? Please hurry up and end it, okay? No one here can solve your issues. You have parents and at large family members you can share with them. Nana, Obuaka Chilem, Anna, come in here. I have Fabra Crami in Tiwati. We interdepend on each other. And no matter papa, okay? I encourage you, talk to somebody. Talk to Osofono, talk to an opinion leader. Open up, okay? And maybe be a entry or the ADAKABRI. And or so at the kind. What's better with the comments no at the aba? Na yet me ashasi, na yet me at the home and come. Emmanuel Asupiati, or say MPP 2024 and on so oyeden or the any dear ede eba ye. Iti ugusutie neat 100.9 FM. Yanguso na yenhwe newspapers no or say Daily Searchlight or say Mr. Lawless Mahama stands by Okada and or the eba ye and or say Mr. Mahama no na or describing as Mr. Lawless and adding Mahama stands by Okada and or the and also so eba ye or say the new weekend crusading guide and I'll say aftermath of party primaries. MPP begins reconciliation to seal cracks and also so or the eba ye say MPP for amakoto abayi omumpanimfo nyina wie omobegyina nyina na chairman na eken or say edru bra e was say bibi na ntwa ye nyina ye hwe na ye so yadwene na bibi eyeden ebetimi asia no ede ama yene. Daily Dispatch and or say Bawumia to speak on moving Ghana to the next level with his vision. Or say Daily Dispatch, no, or say Dr. Muhammad Bawumia and or say the vision. Said Nedaya was soon Nenisu Adihuno. Or see a mano, Wukuada Dayanimino, or also so at the Bababeto, nim. Or see girl support North Tongue spillage victims and also so or they buy yet na informer the Bokrata and informer so say as Ghana performs poorly in corruption fight, OSP serves useful purpose. Kisi Ejabing and Kisi Ejabing and the special prosecutor. Or say Ghana corruption the echo swing in anum OSP adwuma a servo a useful purpose for us and or the eba daily guide or say drama at Antwerp Shrine Wuntumi versus Kokosu Chief and or the Bernard and Chubua Siakon aka Chairman Wuntumi or the phone ni fefe adiaba in a pensive mood and Frimpong Kudua Kokoso hine or no so or the phone ni ade aba assembly nyina say or see duabo bia epu emu no omo akọ antwa na bosomfo akọ ya nane dua no ni nyina ko wie say akọ wie say yakobo nkuro ho ndu bebusa say yankobo nkuro ananke ba ne say woyene say ye pasumdwe etinka bosomfo dane edua ne man ya kabosomfo beka say onna ne dua na na. So could it have been a technical error? Say yakobo nkuro ewo honom akobo nkuro dia e de ne de efiri mu a eba eni yanhwe Professor Lord Mensah, a senior lecturer, Department of Finance at the University of Ghana. Yanino entry and Komokakra. Professor Mensah, Yama Waha Edoba Neat FM so. Na afinshiampa enso so Professor Mensah. Ghana yenyina yagitum se sika de eye moja se de eye Pa Thomas okan no sika na se ye de ye bibia edi omamu Ghana no se ye bedi yie ama wo manma di yie di a na se de obi abenya sika ato no botom na ye hwehwe 2024 election year. Now, at the beginning of 2024, in the second month, February 2024, we have John Dramani Mahama crisscrossing the country, touting the capacity to deliver if given a 4-year mandate. Alan Kwajo Chiamatine as an independent candidate movement for change or also so with a great transformational plan as we speak at the Moving Pick Ambassador Hotel. Or also so no touting his plans and what he proposes. It has to be done to manage Ghana. Then Dr. Muhammad Baumia, Vice President of the Republic, on also so November 4, 2023, MPP for Yinse Oyom flag bearer, or say he has his own vision, and then he's giving us an indication today. Say Wednesday, February 7, he's going to tell us his vision, his plans. In all these plans of the three persons here, at least how do you, what should we expect? So, Omubeka and Omube propose some be effort the finances of Ghana such that a better translated I'm a bottom, and me offices, and me store, Sika, ebabe good till no, Nesika, ebabe good me bottom.
Yo, memo, the chief when you have Mama. I'll share conform I'm saying clearly, I'm going to never seek the mandate to rule Ghana. And of course, their policies and the direction of the policies, and they be determined, say, Sikawa Beto Botum, and I Sikame to Botum. As a Sikawa Beto Botuma, and yes, a farm from and a Beto Botum. They all kind of Thomas Sika Moja, Sikania Divia, but Sika and Van from Momo and Beto Botum. Sika and yes, spiritual, and the Akase, the and I be well Botum. A Jumana, I was away, and I went to me the Jessica. Now, sir, Dipamian say, I'm the mandate to rule Ghana. To me, dear, and the Mummy, they are part of the current administration. Clearly, it shows that the administration never worked hard to descend the economy to your doorstep. The Oka say, dear Juma Babeto Ubutum, and they will be paid with me and I know. Because I'll share the structure of the economy. The economy clearly has been staying up with the macro level. Suppose the Bank of Ghana policy rate, including timber form. Suppose the inflation was low. At the same time, a buy no market or Bobby at the end, is there you are competing with the private sector. And the bank crowd with Sika, I was on the loan. I would pay to bet me the Juma, and I so bet me my business. That business bet me expand. Now, what we are friendly pa, and I don't know. Well, almost this guy is about for treasury bills. Now, almost trying to treasury bills to be mature within 91 days, and they wanted 2 days, and they 1 year. Usher bank balance sheet, assets, is swelled up in treasury bills, investment in one of the running bank, loans, I get too heavy. And and as our bomb for the past 8 years, maybe that be a the economy has been hanging. The economy now, Abino has controlled the economy all through. And you don't run an economy like that because economy should be in such a way that it should trickle down to development. Suppose you can't GDP growth, any idea, you can't inflation coming down, they do baby GDP growth, and the number is 6%. But the question that we need to ask ourselves is that that GDP growth, was it able to trickle down to your doorstep? And now was it able to create jobs for you? And now was it able to lift some people off the poverty line to a certain level? And now, time I record this GDP growth, now your inequality gap, the kind inequality gap, the gap between the rich and the poor, they're widen. It shouldn't be the case. Be who you nanka will record it growth, nanka we did it. Sorry, your inequality gap, the gap between the rich and the poor, not a reduce. In that case, let's just say, see, Oyeni be at me and you may be a warrior. I'm an income, I left Yakoso. She can even do it to me a creative job. I'm Oyeni Bizwenya. The trickling down effect of the economy, yes, so vibrant. But Nipa, I mean, to hear about me, any Venezuela, former trade and industry minister, they are part of this government. I met me, like I said, one more dear. They don't have any message to me. Maybe I'm midnight there. And who message on me to me, they are convincing me, say, this is when they are coming to work hard to get the economy to our doorstep.
See, my young show, What me you know? That's your view, and I can't. You're third person, also so in the person of John Dramani Mahame. When you have the opportunity to assess the performance, being a vice president, was assessing the performance, being a president, and now he wishes to come back again with 4 years. Indeed, Wankasa can say the economy to trickle down to development at the lower embers. Yes, yeah, can ye pisca the agreeable to him. What can he do in 4 years? You bet me and yes can agree to him. Our economy never trickle down at the about a form.
Well, it depends on the policy that he rolls out. To me, I think he has a lot to work on. To the extent the direction now, you pick it up this year with interest rate, policy rate, has started to perform. Inflation has started to perform. We should go in the same trajectory. Over IMF program, I come now, and no more mushy say my say you this super paper, all the economic parameters. So what's that? The man can be do your doorstep. It has to come through because so share IMF program now. I'm outlining them to protect the vulnerable at the same time to make sure that we seek macroeconomic stability. The interest rate perform to some extent for normal limited government on what you call budget deficit. To me, everything budget to says that a buy no come is our market. 18 a company say na abibia na banks no omope obi edisika manua and some private sector no private sector no indirectly no ankwankwa na is there pass the no ebebo so to me there I'm saying I make an announcement one of them which is the 24-hour economy which is a mind-blowing policy. In fact, if that policy was to go downward, that's the rolling out through enclave by enclave. Then Ghana is here 24-hour service economy. But there are some key sectors, any key areas there. I think there, so more year now we provide enough security. And next stuff, will start generating that kind of employment. I bet me this car at the same time, the monetary policy direction, I'm bet me reduce the interest rate to a certain level. Bet me banks will move away from lending to the government. Now best start lending to individuals. The businesses are bet me the man on my friend for in a way, bet me the friend is saying the capital to say now we
24-hour economy, mind-blowing policy. Professor Lord Mensa, what understanding of 24-hour economy anything?
Well, 24-hour economy, as we speak now, Ghana works from maximum 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 5:30. That's Jumapong. Sebiono say open 4 o'clock and I do beyond 10 o'clock. The mileage that you have to travel before you get fuel to buy is a problem. And once you create economic activity where businesses will be secured, underline this word secured, to make sure that one more security in the night to operate, they are comfortable. I'm not saying that it will come free. It will come at the cost of the nation because the government must lay that platform or they will provide the security, the individuals. But at the end of the day, once operations are going, businesses are running over the night, revenue will be increased. Of course, government taxes, so a bit me for sure. So in one way or the other, it's an investment government has to do to reap back. And to me, once we go beyond that 8 hours of work from 6 o'clock downwards all the way to midnight near the and your friend 24 hours, So share your friend is saying, and we may by say traffic work be more yaw, I wish you one more. A blockade, a quano, it's an economic cost because at the end of the day, they were blocking traffic. Now the panic by 2 hours. Our traffic 2 hours, alternatively you could have used it for another job and also make me a generating inflow be amount. And that 2 hours be do a traffic more. But so be honest, then one night job. I don't know, extended beyond the normal sunset hours now. You use to Ghana. That's a sank of no more traffic, you're being an adjo. No more conda. There we are the traffic in Mubia. you've eased up economic activity. To me, it goes beyond the normal, hours I use to. I'm talking about the sunset hours.
Inti at present, a anopatru enyumre ne yapon adwuma no. In the event say upese uko Cape Coast takrade anadwo uko Accra eko Kumasi anadwo unyaka enkwa na se uyare anadwo uko hospital nurse doctor enhwew ana se obimpo attack wo fia police upe assistance anadwo yenhwew ana. Can you tell us more why you think is a 24-hour economy no a mind-blowing policy ebin sida?
Okay, so let me say one mention essentials, no. Is there a security services, omuye juma anajo, health, omuye juma anajo, transportation, omuye juma anajo. But let's look at the output. This year you economic output. Sang a juma omuye omu create anajo no. Sabi no next year juma anajo all right. But mauye tau neko ayaresapia neko he. Neko he say next na yes schedule no eliano. The next week or one anajo abakoto no one. Most of the time, no, the people have not been conscientized to work in the night. And even though these essential services are providing that job in the night, their attitude towards it is very, very, minimal. The who employ, that's the say, why employ will be purposely for the night. Well, no, you were the same capacity on the bad day, you were the same capacity on night. Are you not creating more jobs? So effectively, it goes beyond what you're talking about.
So coming back to a plan, as it is now, you hear a concrete plan. So may 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we and yet me who say ampa ye piska gwe botomwa a beba anasa emma. You earlier on said say 2 weeks to say Dr. Baumia, any former trade minister Alan Chematin, almost the fact that the current government has underperformed in your under your lenses and unti omuni asempabia or mokadi achrewo. But John Mani Muhammad at least in 24-hour economy, mind blowing. Is it any chance we a reference to IMF say omu bia so a good plan na a sync with the people can put their confidence in them and they could also perform for the betterment of the country and
I think that you see when you take over a country, all the resources and then the platforms that you have to turn around the situation, is in your hands. I'm an economist. I'm not saying that within 4 years and now 3.5 years, you can turn around the situation for the economy to get to every person in this country. But the signals to come out clearly to show that look, this government is a government that is prepared to make sure that the economy trickles down to the ordinary. One, the size of your government. The size of the government that you're coming to put out there will determine that indeed whether you need more money to run the central government or not. But the Koban is there, maybe about 80, 100, ministers. And you ask yourself, what kind of job are they going to do? And you ask yourself, what is the compensation? The kind of job they are going to do, is it going to produce more to warrant the kind of compensation and the decoration that we give them? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. Even the size of the government should tell you. To me, I'm saying, they've given us a taste. And being a middle class, citizen, trust me, if you have 8 years to run an economy, that's still the economy is still holding up at the macro level, which at the point we were boasting of, a huge economic growth. The growth was not trickling down to the ordinary person. But look at the policies like planting for food and jobs. I mean, these are policies that is supposed to bring even inflation down. But at the end of the day, what do we see? Food inflation is the one driving, inflation rate in this country. So that should tell you that with availability of resources to some of these, candidates, they couldn't manage the economy well. And so why should we go back and give back the economy to them? Those are the questions we need to ask ourselves as citizens.
Finally, Professor Lord Mensah, Senior Lecturer at the Department of Finance at the University of Ghana. John Dramani Mahama, up to 2016, yentimi antutu no maybe yako IMF. Between 2016 present, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, yentimi anya den antutu no maybe yasan ako IMF. But at least listening to you, who are confidence in the IMF, say Oma tutu no man, say you di Omunshi so rigorously and no mabe. Okay, on paper, they are also telling us that in a 36-month program, you back up there. Now you bet me enya economic stability. I'm a balance of payment support. Bia o de ma ibiano. You bet to us free honum. Ne pie to tuya no me year. Ede na ye ho etimi atoyen. Now tell us, sani pa imiensa. John Dramani Mahama, Alan Shematin, Dr. Muhammad Baumia, Obia de ne plan ba. Nessa yasha, yentimi hunu die, obetimi atwaso at the end of the IMF program, Anna.
You see, as the old kind of a memory and continuity. So, Anka, the Biobia could know, and Kayas is someone, Nanka was what Babet Twasso, Bagana and Tessa. And let me clarify this. You see, you call IMF two different regimes. I'm going to call IMF, but there's a difference. This particular IMF, we are so restricted in our fiscal space. The fiscal space are in a sense that even the ability to raise money has been limited. The first IMF, and the ability to borrow. At the point we had access to the international market. At that point, you could borrow to come and offset some short-term debt in our economy here to make sure that government borrowing from, short-term, our concentrate was short-term, and move to, medium to long-term. But you see, the IMF, we don't have access to the Eurobond market. And look at what has happened to the cocoa sector. To the point there, even cocoa bond, at the lower interest rate compared to government, at the point the can be a case from the class. How can that sovereign power, ability to print money, ability to, generate taxes near the adeno, they are borrowing on the Eurobond market at 7%. And when the cocoa board can go to the market, go and raise money at 2%. I was boasting of that, and I use it as a case from the MBA for say they should tell me they should go and ascertain the reason why. And of course, when you delve into it, you get to know the reason. Because cocoa board itself, don't share cash flow now. It's tied to cocoa beans now, which is assured cash flow. And they have the ability to pay their debt. And as a result of that, they can raise money. So we found a whole lot of things around it. But not to this extent that cocoa board has said, to the extent that and say PBC, they are two of them. They have to tow it from their side. And to me, the two IMFs, they are two complete different issues altogether. We shouldn't look at it as, both of them took us to IMF, and as a result of that, governance with continuity. In the plan to one more. Can they continue? Of course, Ghana has a way. There will be taking a winner takes all country. Will be picking up on mine now. And it's a business as usual. You can't change it until then. The constitution and Gazemuno, the better drafted the bill, my better government to continue all projects. The Venezuelan previous government, so by better to me, they can all put up their plan, but once you've had 8 years taste of government, we were expecting that at least the economy will be moving towards a certain direction, barring all those, COVID and then Ukraine war. And I can tell you that even without the Ukraine war, no crowd, this economy wouldn't have done well.
Na me no we na obi asend me message we say me musa and you are at liberty to comment or leave it. Recent times, University of, in fact, medical students, College of Medicine and Other Sciences, MC Kumas as a Bibisa, almost shall see extra medical students, entrepreneurship as part of program. No? Pharmacy students, entrepreneurship as part of the program. Presumably, say, betimi de entrepreneurial skill etimi so ede amarkete omo skill na omo akwa den akọ gain as a medical professional or as a pharmaceutical professional. Would you support any system you betimi ama all category of students yetimi am entrepreneurial knowledge such that they will be able to make decisions as to say omo ankwa ye nurse ya onim so betimi aye bibi entrepreneur atimi again bibi. Would you support such a thing?
I totally support that. But let me tell you one thing. You see, you can have all the skills to be an entrepreneur, but if the macro structure of the economy does not support you, you cannot survive.
Mm-hmm.
The entrepreneur needs a source of finance. Even on you can free. When we in school, all right, I was on a champion or a pharmacy or business in the corner, room pharmacy be also starting. Even on you can free. You still need the macro, environment. You still need the finance. So if government hijacks the finance, that's right, through treasury bills, treasury bills all lending to the government. How would that entrepreneur survive? What is going to be the financial source of this entrepreneur? And to me, we need the macro to stand firm. We need that stability to make sure that all these entrepreneurs that we are training, medical doctors, yes, of course, you can be a medical doctor and prioritize on your own. You start something on your own. Where is the money? So they are all going to operate within the umbrella of the economy. And if you're operating within the umbrella of an economy that is not doing well, an economy that has been hijacked by the government, where government is doing all the borrowing, you won't get money to start your business. That entrepreneurial skills that you've learned is going to lock up in your head.
Now, government hijacking the financing and doing all the borrowing. Are they hijacking all the repayments also?
Of course. You when you look at what is happening in this country, the interest rate being so high. Young ones, I always use my class for kids. If I not in investment, but or the quarter treasury bills. I apply it years. Yes.
Now, I Ghana debt instrument to be one more a year lucrative or be me.
That is why government must work in that direction to make sure that money moves to long term. So this entrepreneur who is supposed to start his business and the cash flow is more or less was quite a risky area. Business no germinate here. So the cash flow is very, very uncertain. And when you can be very resource friendly, there's no way this entrepreneur can start.
Right. Prof, quite interesting points you are making. Yeah, there was a right. Professor Lord Mensah is a senior lecturer at the Department of Finance at the University of Ghana. Kusineti NEET 100.9 FM. Na guso mbelefo nso atranse e ba be dia honkomo sesi a enti NEET 100.9 FM.
What's cool, fresh and trendy with a new look? Makes you feel real good, that refreshing vibe. Satisfies you right just the way you like. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Ain't gotta do it alone. Specialized makes you flow. Anytime, anywhere.
feel different, think special. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And you ma beto to dia me baba no hwade no. Twem so betumi a. Hey, aso. Hey, now beka. Ya jon to mami en sa duku portmanteau. This way chocolate drink. Na kan wo hwe afibian so beri ni waware ni a. This way chocolate drink. Na kan sia. Oh, aso. Udan kwanu tumu ho. Me be mo anu so hye kura dia ka ho. Wo hwade wepi ho. O ka sa batete e da fom ho. This way chocolate drink.
Catch up a baba wari.
Aso.
Ye fi say this way chocolate drink ya sorry anopa no ne yenom. Ye be chef fridge nom no se snack. Ye nya hoho anu ne de serve wo mo. Ye didi wie ne ye pe bibia bogu ya de so a. This way chocolate drink ne yenom. And this way no ti anu a, he se kire wom, kwakwo wom, brick wom, bibia wom, ade wo hia ni so hye.
This way chocolate drink.
De wo hia ani so hye.
FDA ahwehwe se adwede nkratoe mo agye atum se eye.
Sir, a womanizer. He is not good for you. Mama, I get me photo. I get me photo. We need more about. Jane, okay, Kano. The piano be so be. I say, what do you know?
Maria Teresa, UTV telenovela for Fraya Kofaba. Maria Teresa, eya baba wa ho fefo. Nimdifo, ya wo po de bra e wo krokese mu. Na so akwa wie se, wo papa akoda afiase, ento sabe krase. Ebe hwe abusua dwuma said ye be ya ebe koso. Na forma ya wada adwuma na no, woni nani nhia sei. Na so, adwuma ye betumi akoso, ana wade ho ahi ebe sa akoninti.
Maria Teresa, me kasa me pesa de no kra ne free go. Ma fire mo.
Maria Teresa, UTV weekend telenovela. Ye sandia ba. Ye you know efiada memeneda kwasiada nwumre na nwotwebia ewo UTV so. Sini Maria Teresa nya daadi na hwebi na namfo ni bi ye kobra abusuafo ni bi ye kobra ebinum ye kakape hwehuye
NIT 100.9 FM so any na ene Friday February 2 2024 na on Facebook live and also saying akwasi antwi and ka say on Facebook live was say ADAKABRI, I love you too much. And say hello to Honorable Kennedy Japan for me. Thanks. Anna Odebaye. Eric Kwakubuedi. Or say patriotic voice Bichim. The MPP government is the only government that thinks about the future of and welfare of Ghanaians. We should all support the MPP government. Surely MPP party will break the height. Or they buy good vibes or say comic relief. That question, Jane, or say if someone can implement this policy, it's better not Mahama. With all due respect, he knows nothing about governance. And Thomas Asamani Adebayo or say, but it should better be your Some of you speak like fools. And Adebayo. Bami Sapon on Facebook Live, I say, so, this is an explanation a professor is giving to the 24-hour economy. Oh my God. I feel ashamed that I finished Legon. Such crass understanding of 24-hour economy. Now, in the studios now, I hear Lawrence Kwesi Garte of the National Democratic Congress, and then Saka Salia of the MPP would also come in a minute. But for now, dear, Kwesi.
Ofa.
No, Kwesi and now Kwesi. Kwesi.
Poche yo.
Roger, we would have Fantinia. Garte, that one, no, so your friend Kwesi.
I have partner bimu said that you sunsunia or them. Bimu feed and sometimes I'm feed in our accounts. In
your accounts. It's no particular.
And the A no crown what I use A no. What I akwesi.
Akwesi.
And one I yank in what I started. Oh yeah, A yes on time akwesi.
Akwesi. Akwesi.
Kwesi ni fanti. And akwesi ni a tree.
Okay, no. As in Papa, actually, my main can message be
okay.
Now, remember, I would do. Now, young dream come one day. Hey, Wafa ADAKABRI to the whole we are say. Good afternoon, sir, Wafa. Mementi is airborne. inside Kingsland. And Wafa, please kindly wish Akosua Dakwa, aka Antiakos of Seven Sisters Apostles Continuation Church International Branch in North London, a glorious happy birthday for me. From Mama Lou, Elder George Opoku, Elder Bismarck Samoa Yabua, aka Asabi, Elder Alex, Jessica, Awosewa, and the entire congregation celebrate you today, Antiochus. Blissful weekend to you and your team, Wafa, and blissful weekend reaching out to Mr. Kwadjo Fred inside Woolwich, Queenie, Everlove of Nottingham, Cindy Nash inside Manchester, Ya Cynthia in Connecticut, USA, Nana Slykote, aka Slypopo in Walthamstow, and Samuel Lawe in Southampton. Fantastic show by all standards. Ugusuti it 100.9 FM. Na just about 20 minutes to 3. Na yenye this interview. Now yamra back to the studios. Niani and for no Emra Mekasa. In the studio, on the line, Uriah Yadom Buache Amponsa. He's a labor expert. Na somewhere down na yanino and you know home. Yadom Yamwa.
Miriam Joso.
I think she a so.
I think I'm a
right.
And I think Japan come out with you.
Bia swasum. In recent time, say ye babe ye study ne bia scientifically ya validate ya. Ese die Ghana obia ko school a die okoko sua ye no. Na aye ne se owie school a pambia so no. I was say onya adwuma relating to adia okoko sua ye. Going forward, is it feasible?
But there be any possible. It's only say a university, prepare for the field of work. And just say a Jumana, a school now, and Kata now for this. And no one Juma, and by all means, and that's all here. And so to me apply to any field of humanities now, yeah. Apart from the sciences, as say HRO, say administrational, say clerical, and so to me apply. I think that is the principle.
And medical school be about almost at the entrepreneurship. Aka medicine no a wo kwakosu and especially the postgraduate medicine school ya abbey at the pharmacy level so yeah the entrepreneurship so aka ho is it be a ube encourage senka yema entrepreneurship and widespread across various courses such that in assessing your options at a point to make me decide to do something for yourself Anna.
When you are pepe. It's only said, maybe me why interview be paying about AI. So be kaya. Na me kaya ni say AI no. Say yet me and you in the narrow perspective. Now you're in the broader scheme because me feel say AI no it also opens other opportunities. Inti omo ye pharmacy entrepreneurial study. It says your horizon is being broadened. It is a Ministry of Health in a befoul, they do a cocolebu and now come for not here. Now, Kakra will be now per se. Well, we'll be a pharmacy shop here. At least you have that basic underlying principles. Who bet me a diamond at Manu Ekina. 80 the papa. I say, yes, Emma baby, because they say I'm crank juma ebenya hodin asia baye juma because all that na say see am no ka say me can say baby ka say obeba na obefa nipa aka omo wo abaye juma say see a ho me make say we could create a problem because already no they are choked. We got one table, then nipa me understand the thing. Officers say nipa ba kontra, nipa be 5, 6, 10 in the ship. Already needs to stroke. We should be looking at opening up opportunities and avenues for individuals who have the wherewithal in terms of finance and technical knowledge to set up their own establishment.
Sister, a whole postgraduate medical course. Now, yeah, the entrepreneurship account, yeah, the language in this instance, French, grand, yeah, the account, na pharmacy, yeah, the entrepreneurship account. Also, say, one point, young can say, one more, scaler, Gayasinka, Yabenia Juma Momaya in the hospital environment, no. One put yet the entrepreneurial skill ye can the language ye can na will be on no equal humanities no entrepreneurial skills no a bit me up one can be so.
I didn't get into me about what it be because there are a lot of you don't have to actually have that technical skill. My memo example, your friends will be psychology. Now we see HR kakra. Now we decided to media, my specialty. But yet, me boa in Juma, must select the right caliber of people. Into me, kwa kusuya bibi said psychometric study, media account. Now, my company, I boa from company to company. So be a bit me selecting the right caliber of people. Master, it will come as this year. Ube can you say here? Because we don't have that yet. So, I mean, that kind of combination, ADAKABRI, a big boy and baby.
You can say we could know at the master's level, human nutrition and dietetics. Now, we a registered dietitian. Now, entrepreneurial side in the imagining how many restaurants, Krana, Yetimi Etro Edibo say. This restaurant is managed and operated by a registered dietitian.
Dietitian. A bit cranial. Nanina, because yes, we are minding as a state, no, we are not organizing ourselves well because so here from her standards near. The says here, Ufi, Evan said, floor, and yeah, Evan is there 30 square meters. Mr. Media 30 square meters. Because Obi said, on my two tires, mammy, my Tommy tires did that. My Tommy tires, man, be there. On my two tires, no mammy keke. Me know me, but I want you 10,000. Now, but I also be a 5,000. I did here because you need standards for her. Now, the worker says to me, yeah, this number of metric space, as I said, me charge it. What do you say? We say you introduce standards, and yet you probably be brave who but you introduce standards. Never be a senior or example here. That's a restaurant. Yeah, when you're a registered dietitian, I don't know because a requirement.
Social media crab na obi post to be say maybe I'm a registered dietitian. Na person be no aduane ma wa. Me could just be a maybe assessment of you who vitals say BMX ni ade who normal or say would any normal and say would any ade na say me who ni nyina no a metimi a tailor with diet amount say in the given 7 days no also do nipa do say nka bi anka they won't run to such a person
maza you help those who probably perform but in America say we need to introduce standards in all things there by almost so now all best man all overcharging nipano.
Aye.
Because the charging no a moderate and a affordable. Nipa be a access staff service.
Because professions ni bebre and they media radio so profession way na yeah ma abai no 8 day watumetum. Na me say oh and just expectation and say I was abai fan man adwuma or say abai fan man adwuma yeah man adwuma yeah man clearance and yeah man watumetum senka owo entrepreneurship skill bia I think I want such a tenocrania what traditional bear attendance.
Or the Juma did that. Not why in the Juma. So, but in America, so we need to look at it from various angles. One of them is the introduction of standards in our system. And no, will create a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. And also, my specialization, I targeted rather than generic. So, in Tinipano, we say Hanamito, Mr. Tuaha, Hanamiwi. Now, the generic program today, a very good baby. So, because the name crowd, you what managers are, you because of your generalist managers. This is a SOT because your phobia, your man of contract. Your man of contract 2 months, 3 years. 2 years, no one. I feel the other say, oh, now I know they don't want to answer one yet. We, renew and I mean, you were having now contract, you renew a penalty for. We may my brother not 1 year back. Not gap a better experience. HR for no cry is selective one. They are very careful. I didn't think that go or what comes over the employment history would say. I did, and the folks because you're not fine to be able to be my contract.
It is the other day. I could say, can you know, ye die to me planning forward job for life, no? And that's just a job for life, who any of you.
I hope you now me I am me blame and penny for now on we implementing our policies because we go school no maybe we ya na we ya juma na juma say I'm calling or ya dear the man for any master ya mo akwa master ye dey ochi wi asina what judgment 15 years what be managing director the be managing director we say me dey phobia me fa no contract na say we buy any fa o contractor the better na wakwa managing director. So, you think what they do? Say you're drinking Chimano, you're drinking who ye. So, yeah, dear my year, you know, anybody. But then they be air quality. We are creating criminal. Excuse me to use that word. They're creating criminals because Akrana University of a year IT. With someone on your on your computer, at the end of the year. So, if you know, yes, Sakawa. So, and you're more my IT. This is quite be free. You more ya. But I'm with them 2010. Now almost that and provide you. Oh, but the answer the way we are going. The enjoy our contract. Yeah, yeah. Must say anyway we are go.
Me ya do. Me was ka kra bi na chase mo mu kire me. Say obi a wono obeye adwuma or the first degree no de awura mu.
Yeah.
And why ye adwuma timi aye the masters kra company no kra na aman free opportunity. Na onya be 15 years at the helm. Na fe no aba be managing director say of the company. Ave de no also ba ya ono de was wo ma contract. And I will say any pan trimu editing. Now ubebusa say in a work environment shareholders of the company womuno ayede afloat to company edum sika ashim na omo ede board atnas yes a board no oversee the overall operations of the entity and na board nso so yi management na nyame ayi admo ba managing director. Now you go according to the plan. More of course appraising at the end of the year and I say if you are na quarterly. That's a board no director who say you say efficiency you see ke dia she mo no me ntu and say no na emomu no say in a 2-year tenure you betimi make an assessment of somebody and then make an appraisal and continue by giving a further extension of their contract or where the pakwan nya ya yampam no e man nkope ba bi ntina. How are you able as a labor expert say such an MD now all carry out the strategic framework of the company no on any three more than
aha the only say in the employment environment a give and take it's in such a way say bibia a far performance you want to say you handle now you may make a contract it is not related to performance because this year the problem and mass has no have any say Ubeko companies the mono or training budget, as well as above form because they are not prepared to train anybody. Aditya, you put more 2-year contract. Now, when you call it gone, I could do 4 years. A better than a year. A year. In the American, say, she said in such a way, say, a job for life, crap. We should have, they say, we have very good systems. I bet me the monitor performance. Yet to me, they are crazy employees. Now, the employee who are praising no one more money, and that's our bomb. It be no problem. That is why we have training programs. So, you introduce him to other training programs to make sure that he comes back online. So one come back online. That's the winner. There are systems to do that. But make a way now. So yes, I may come up here. The trade unionism in Ghana, as I speak now, a honor problem no back on so. Omo contract and yet employee performance in T and omoko. Because of the attitude of the trade unions. Because trade unions, we work as year 5. Then, more very good conditions. Now, union firm. Now, we have 10 pay. Now, conditions now, we are reduced the amount. Or 2 on share a human affording. Or some just here, say, you will be a friend of redundancy pay. Redundancy pay, I work conditions be brave. Ni Sakura will pay about 2 months for each ETSF. It be 3 months for each ETSF. Now, idea and my company is going to be empire unionization because they say the BBS let you man ever so only for 200. And so E50 won't let you man it me call him. E50 now. The company got redundancy pay because a cost of it. In the American say, as a year catch the team executives say, almost share the half of the business. The half of the business and then they say, the Nippon or your papa, not the performance you good a boy. So what you say? Now the onya dia ye can want. Say Nippon your papa, now contracting again I know de kakra into ye yina fia juma no a. Juma have lost a huge scale. Now, the BIA number day, mean will be an example. All quite human, all compare a sponsorship. The boss catch a penina all time, and he said, Papa, or you're very good, or bad moment when you been 3 years, but he's the future of that department now. Into my infant call university, no call to us. I'm going to call university now, or somebody, or by a Jumana. Emma eventually obey a general manager with you. Now, and son obey general manager. BBC with you or no quality part, or to me, sorry, I can't deal with you and yet at your harbor, but yes, son. Or they work as new no kind of it's just hereby, as you manage, never know can say, as you manage that we can. Then can you manage at that time? That individual has improved the health of the business and has sustained the business through his individual intervention. Say, you know more, and no differ. And Kajumana, by this time, they will say. And see, what's that? As you're getting your name managing director for the Casano, your union for the Casa. There's a whole two Akatuyama. That's all we have one day. Because they say ability to pay one of the huge factors I did determine salary adjustment. So who pay and the day be the amount of workers are. So bizarre who say a day I make up pre. You want to bet me to the 10 PR or who can bet me to ya. And no any indigenous in the DJ welfare, some of these welfare things. There are things we need to do as a nation. You know, I say trans you who baby you know boa a member a juma sector no I improve my
Yeah, don't watch champions, we a labor expert. Yeah, there was an inch more with the amine. Right, into yeah, don't watch champions, labor expert. Got it. Crazy
over
entrepreneurship over Boyana.
Ozinkan, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I'm the answer owie Eastern region na obunu ketem ko Central region okozi dwuma kakra ho oko oni Chief Julius Zebra former chief of staff na okopo mu ho ti be chia won na ya bo abado wo dwumazi na woreye na wa prutum wazam agigana efi ho ayo be chia ho na abuti ofo sedu mensa ono ne yer osi wo chia na wo tie program yi so na entrepreneurship de over nka
are you busy?
makade oboboa yen
Okay.
to a point.
Watch up some few minutes.
Okay.
Na programmer Oracle wa Alisa moving pick Ambassador Hotel. Oye Alan Kojo Martin. Movement for Change. Senior advisor to Alan Kojo Martin, former general secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Ohininto. Near Musa one. Ada Oracle ewo moving pick Ambassador Hotel.
Okay.
Nana Yamwaha Edobani TFM so.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry we are what to saying.
Nyame adom ho ye papa.
Yo.
Na mo aso ho te
Nana body be any akwem. Dear Air Cost moving pick Ambassador Hotel National Economic Summit. So far, Air Cost
yo we there ADAKABRI me do ase. Me chia atiefo nyina so. Me de enchia kese papa nso efe. Honorable His Excellency Alan John Kojo Martin Oye independent presidential candidate Edema Afiya ba ye 2024 abatui ya wade afafanto movement no eno ene mejira hyede ene efidia ebo ni chidom ya wade bepre aba ebe no mede jia efin homa atiefu nyina na ayampa dwumadi kase bi a ya to the National Economic Summit. The Economic Summit na kire se enkutahodie no eyadia eye asimpia kase pa esese omanfo nyina eya asodi biki le fade ho efa Ghana oman yie oman enkoso oman sikasem se betuyi sede omanfo ya brabom ombatoye eho enkutahodie ne nkobotwetwe ana yura Alan John Kojo Martin wode ehye bi aba se atitirufo animdefo adwuma wura no wo manfo a yinimode efa oman sikasem ho efa adwuma efa agedie efa efidwuma bibi biara ema oman sikasem ne na brabo ekonkan no womra ni entroatro adwen tan se Ghana yenya emfie adusia ensumnie enso yehwe abrabo mu a ase de jama enra nko a ene yesim na saade no ya hwe yi na de yeye se okwan ya yefa so bu ye man okwan ya yefa so hye iskasem okwan ya yefa so hye ye mfidi dwuma ye yekua ye ene yesuku ko ene ade bia ye se ya hwe ama ensakra kati ambamu a ene na de bia yebegina ye ABC anenti ena ne yura Alan Martin wode sa chi aba empanyimfo ne omanfo ne dom aba ma ye twetwe san komo yo enkran kurodie Ambassador Hotel National Economic Summit nti uka ya ubisa ya na yampa medie no ana etia
na titru no e baaye no etesen na nsam so a wo mo ebie no etesen
yo medo ase se de wa obekaye no be bosome enan ni na yura Alan Martin ufiri abaye mu no wode na no disem atudwa bra ufiri abaye mu no se wo betu anamon so okokontekro ebepre omampani akonwa no September afi twa mu September that to so 25th September ana o launching the movement for change sada no aso no sa launching the great transformational plan and the transformational plan or launch here no question ADAKABRI adwenkyere ene atimpo ene hihye ya yura Alan Martin dia to class aso o dan die no na afei ebere du se yem pipe mu near Pensi, near Musa Ghana for him, say, hey, Nasima, you are Chamatende by set no, and who could tell the Ababuya mine. At the same, now, no other than a small talk, and say, I summon an entire and in church again. And in church the moon, and a more back one, what two, yeah, and yes, or no qua edition. And that was, or yes, she said, a baby Wagana food. In the against the Sabi, Yansa, any back of food. And I know they attitude, any name before, a Gumura no, any one more account, Yabishia. Sana, Medina. If you watch it, say, you see how no one can add that Medina at the Sabu Biano. What can I say? Yeah, how dear. The Ubisagan in India, who does say agriculture, yeah, how they say. When I just say, bank in Yesikama, Kuafo, and we will wait to say, you need to the idea, Juma. Ubisagan in India said, football, yeah, how they say. But be able to me, I shall. No moment they say, and then, what's your how dear? Yakabre. Emuaye ben, and she say ye ben, and the best shop or how nano. It was in Neno, and common I ever kitchen. Young Casampa or how no be brave. Ya bought how no sure. Okay, Ghana is a inflation. And I say, Sika, a boy and a mudro, one of 80 million of another Diana can I hear to, and then put the 10 cities start there. A China now here 20 cities, and they are caught inflation. Was here no, me and Kahwati. At the end, you have one. What the 10 cities caught there now. But some back over connect 10 cities. But some is over connect 10 cities. I feel over connect 10 cities. Was here no, and then you may do a honey. And she say, yeah, a dick in Muaye, and answer or how no, I know a drew at the back. No home to go to China. Now come to China, Egina, say, or mine is because I'm saying, Casa du Bonifano, macroeconomy. Because some no, Fatima, Ginaso and Casancasa, and some of what may be Fufrubia. Was say, and no chino, and you go to China back and if the Juma and Sacraya Pa, a band for the Juma Mua, a Bema Gun and for the Juma. I couldn't name no, my Casam at 2 years. Was say, and no Pahua. The Toshu Bill and Quiayo. And Sacre Cassia Pa Bay the Buckway more. A fade, you went to your conqueror. A bit my background said, dear bedroom baby, no. Now you're Caribbean and Lemon, Yamum, yet the Biane echo among the neck of a tongue. The crab and so, sounds that the yea, and here, the dear because of Caribbean. As you can see, Bugana. Was say, and no performer. A fay young sign, a consideration with you, Bonifant tourism. Was this Sanya may be far? Say it to whom? A coin your first one. A Bemasa, a Honu Medina could anymore. You see, Cassam, a Beconani. Indeed, she say, and well, yeah, a trap war, it's not so, and this are and 9 years may come on at them a chill. Now, and yet, you no, years are and 9 say, Yampa and shed and net what you can.
Nana, I said that to Dina Kujia. Bia in the coming week, you know, near Tennessee, na ya do so mo,
Mo, and 7 of those of pa, then 7 woman, Ghana for no one Casa, Mom put ya, and quiet, your mamma, sorry, Akase, 24-hour economy, not your boy here, as 24 government, and now about the best because digitization and our blue economy near the edge. Wait, dear, say, the Mekase, jobs and cash economy. May Chamo Ponya, a Befasua. Then you want to make us a Beba. And it says, you cannot miss a Beba for Butum. A Beba. Santi, and he said, may yes, in Adagina, it is a month for a Beboy.
You, Nana, or him too, as a da and I at the Dow. Nana or him too, a senior advisor to Alan Koyo Chematne, a national economic forum and NASA summit and a national economic summit as a building non-partisan consensus for a national economic development plan and I can't want some crazy right back to you now entrepreneurship and more bit me abua if yama emrantie maba wa the Ghanaian youth or mutiminya entrepreneurial experience
Okay, I offer them na man no good no. Ọman biara was kuwe bi na wode kyerɛ. Enwa na wobu ọman no. Ɛna enwa na wote ọman no. Enwa na wobu ọman no, oye aban. We provide that offer public services. Government has no business in doing business. Nti say we provide the services. Na chede induma nan kai no bebre nara no. Enwan na ye from private sector. Enwan na way the major man. The private sector no as an entrepreneur say yenyim factors of production. Nti ma wo man there awo ebe pasase na per capital na per labor na manage the mother ibasen na enya mfaso bi ana mfaso bi aba ho se bi ba ho a o man no so nya ho mfaso ori de obi biara o ye adwuma o man mu no otuato itinka entrepreneurship de enka oye because aban no runtum mfa obi biara owo man mu ewe adwuma mu onsi because if everybody is providing a public service to another person na yenye skano way because kaire hunde public service no impeni pi no bebre no on generate ska ehwe gin area ye hwe bebia wo generate ska na ehudo ye bebi kuma bi most of the public service no they just render what we call welfare to the citizenry inti inka private sector ne de nko ye only entrepreneurship ya rekin but entrepreneurship no kind of wo global world enti se ede ho rekohyem ede ehwe oman na wo no eben akwa nyoma na aban no ana oman no wo de egu akwan ba se awo ede ho rekohye da mudwumezin de rekopo bi na asase ereko ha yo bi do mobo na ye dwuma erekopa bosia ana de walampo susu bi a oda ho ade reko ye dwuma no ereko kaka bom na agye bibi no bazi no man di gu akwan mu ama wa onkoma wo cost of production no onko kosuru bebre because okosuru bebre a despite the area wo Ghana no na ebia wo intention in kire de rekoton waze no amano ne kana hunde obi ore ebi wo amano ne no ode bi beba omayim enti so ode bi riba omayim a na kire de indirectly no you are competing with obia sebe onyu woman but also all produce will be at a certain cost into the cost of production no or a key na onye our entrepreneur no yes you can manage certain things at your level but ebi o how you external for example a factory na a use electricity you don't control the electricity most of our factories depend on the national grid until the cost are buying the bomb on the butia entua yenyim nansen yisigi fo koya even enwana a B5 fa worry and ade na na what the electricity kawa odu baby no e de wotu mogina no wotua ansana wa monkane no waye enti abai ewo asudi kakra the cost of water the cost of electricity even as accessibility to road that is transport na the cost of fuel na zini now or a key when it comes to boosting entrepreneurship. It is not just in the name of entrepreneurship. Do be Congo Shiade. Whatever entrepreneurship our Ghana had in Kodoso. Yeah, ma memo ye na nanum was started the war to adu mokola in the gum of Ghana Yinara Malata market Nadina. They were all entrepreneurs. Oko pe obina sase kakra. Ako fo bido bo amnam to made. Ako pe bosia kakra. No will manage. But at the end of the day no. Say wo na our man wanted to nyoma ye. And you know what happens to our businesses. Just last 2 weeks I was at Abusokai. And the major problem now is about exchange rate differentials. Because at the end of the day no, a year akoton adnewi na ereko na akofa foforo no. Bro yin on to no demo. Wofa say esu so na $1 or anamoboa. Na wo de to ade wa America. And then they are so the $1 to ade. Between $1 to the buy modi odi e wa abrochi mo yeye. So what it means in there, that economy is more or less what we have what to call stagflation. Nyoma bu nko so papa biara. Sa tell no what on 2 cedis 10 years ene kwa 2 cedis wom $2 wom ya wa shirt equal land na obi anyim de dem shirt it what on £5. Obi anyim enkantiti ni now ya wa faforo ko land ni na no £5 ene na na £5. Enti obi o wa ha no orokoto or the £5 no do kwakoto ba kare hu de enkan no se pound no ye 4 cedis nka 5 no ye 20 cedis and say a pound £5 nala and so ye 16 cedis times 5 obomo ahe 80 cedis enti shirt na wo Ghana hana obi o London we produce now we make sure the nebo no ejina for a very long time no enya ka say yet ha na ye prayer ho. Why? Because obi manage we economy ni ye enti oma abribia no bibiara nsi but as if the BBC enti America hwe the ma asema na Professor Lord means hurricane so maya yetimo na yen ye kade Russia Ukraine war na ode ohaw abato yedo but yen bi say ho hwe inflation obai Russia Ukraine war owoma. No, the major issue has to do with domestic food inflation, and it is local to the extent that eco balaga check it the cost inflation rate our reporting it goes up to 90%, but on the crowd Russia and the Ukraine. You see what it means in there? People who are producing here are struggling to produce. She akukwa yenye no ha. Akukwa be we feed na day the cost of it. Know what the taxes were hippie. The government is not helping anybody to produce the feed. Nipa na all to concentrate na no be mesi feed no. What they tax what they hip no. Enti urbanizing the edirugu akwema obe show obi nkura ne there. Ame se benya bibi kakra na me timu aborem na me de ko boye adwuma bi a menya emfasoze. Hwe most of the one district one factory obey. Some of them were surviving without even government intervention. And a critical look is at Casa de Europa. Adwuma no rana kasa we no okan wo TV no. There impo time na one district one factory mbai no. Na otumutua na adwuma efoka. And adwuma no so wakasai. There and the time no and otumutua waka. And the moment one district one factory aba no otumutua waka. Because you see the economy is in a mess. It be a way bia and whatever it is no. Adler produce no pan no na cake na do. Other people also producing it. And we know we import some of these things. Add the ontumuntua in there number 1. Woman hope into or expanding the production. Oko si dan sika na nka do the the production day in day out no. Or the fiscal asset. Or the si dan kese. Na okoto to machine.
You no decision.
No, I say government gave them the hope. Okay, to the extent there. So nyimpa de them na situation be ya. Nke sika okofai ode be penti e dan no ho. E ma aban no be catch sword nka occupy the miska no. Na ko the run business no.
Na woje trum so sell akosi hostel.
How many one can hostel?
Yeah, Ghana for we should also be honest enough. Say your amount 10 cities. Akoye adie 1, 2, 3. Men koye 4th and 5th being soon count.
Na say urban conditions. And not into my can there.
Titi wouldn't take a contractor. Yeah, the Jumama contractor no got to Mercedes bear me and sa. And no some car contractor you man who because me and you.
I'm an American there. There are critical issues we have to look at. The cost of electricity here is very high. Our taxations are strangling producers and other entrepreneurs. Because a comporter, share and one now, what cranium. Share one more a list of taxes a day to ya. Every year, the cost of adinara koto abrochino in a taxes nature and taxes no also say in your and typical example, how you are into transportation. Casa walk especially second-hand cars. Most of the time, taxes are what you are also sing about what the talk and a shipment in put together. And he say Obiriton Casa. Now this is the situation you put the person through. At the same time, you know, Abrochi can work on $3,000. $3,000 want to more. But how you are not able to manage the economy? Into auto can you cry and or the same $3,000 can. Or I don't also pay can be sold, not because it's $3,000. The first, you know, and like $3,000 on here, ebia just about ebia 12,000 cedis, not the $3,000. And then on here about 80,000 cedis to get the same 3,000. So what we are talking about in there, the management of the economy, no, or a key to the growth of entrepreneurship. Because ended that, let me tell you a critical situation. If one of your sister stations, now make a problem, to me far Uber. And the young man is saying there, Abaine Amai Basahama, as young man, 26 years of age. Wako ye jumadin when ye ska, or that could be a jumadegu. Because I didn't know, a baby also mutual light, mutual water, mutual them. Ever share sooner, I didn't say so to be ever kono no wuskan. And you know how food inflation at least crippled us. And the scanner answer no. What chop money is what's increasing no. And the scanner do your business no. And the bill will increase you, what chop money with you. In the everyone capital now at the run the business no. It has become chop money at the end of the day no. Besianko beyin back what if ye. And that is why you are saying that say obifu no kanya what she dema worry the mo and the boy told me critically that nakasa no younger brother ye bi or ye the mo cyber na ono or per justice to the extent there are obi better no better no ono obako jina court no we di etiano but he wants an opportunity to work ofi there the systems should work but here we are entrepreneurs no the inflation rate here no kosuri okoya to the extent that n1 na wonua wache no ebi mo jai the water pure water because no onto munto oil ne bo kosor onto munto mu ne bo kosor onto munto akoko ne bo kosor onto munto tin tomatoes ne bo kosor enwuma ni nara enti sika na ode ye wache na kasa no na ode to the input no ode prepare ne wache remo na de no at the end of the day no inflation na de na aminiska no somebody will tell you though inflation is coming down wafa ye na ye ko school ye economics kaka inflation is coming down not sharing it doesn't mean prices are reducing. It means the persistent increase in price is increasing at a decreasing rate. That is all. So prices are increasing, but it is not increasing as previous. It is increasing at a decreasing rate. Inti prices have not reduced. Inti amafu guda one. Inti sobe jina wana beka chao there. Ebia inflation and there about the 20-something%. On in there, ada and that on 5 cedis no, and the equa about on 3 cedis. You still buy it 5 cedis if care is not taking you buy it 6 cedis because there is still inflation, which is strangling consumers. Inti ame America in there. As much as we think though, edo bi aye juma, wafa mitue itue impade amobiska do on fenye bojuoda. Because sometimes ama nyimpa no chop money da. Ama ni biem e fi de entu muntuado. Enkantete no na economy no oye stable no. So embo bisika otumu buwa kontai, obi jibosia otumutua. And that is why under John Dramani Mahama we had a lot of this microfinance springing up because na nkofuno what jibosia na otumutua. The inflation was not high, exchange rate was not high, so the economy was a bit stable. And you saw a lot of young girls and boys no walk around that. Now let me tell you, share F for Kroma, the quick loan for obey. Everybody is running from the home because there is a group amamifubia when I will go by because quick loan be 3,000, 4,000. I don't do it. And in the other way, these are people who to what didn't be what I show one bad that. But about then and the same mammy funala, yeah, mammy for you the way hard working. I'm mammy no can what it's in more remote ashing. Why they end there? Or what this cannot go to another cow? No, it all going. We are not helping them. The system, the foundation is very, very porous, very weak. Somebody will tell you, though, we had a robust economy before COVID. But it's wrong. It is lie. Why? Robust economy, what it means in there, if you have a shock, you have something which is a shock absorber to hold the shock. So if you have robust, today to also you resilient, another baby, not say a shock come. And meanwhile, when COVID came, this country made money than any other year in the life of this country. If I check the records, every year in our money, only the quantum of money in the era of COVID. To the extent that we are still benefiting from COVID. COVID has left us about 2-3 years ago. And then people pay COVID levy on all the things they import, all the taxes you pay COVID. I buy no other rake in money. And you see, this country is in a mess. Serious mess. For example, talk about the emission levy, whatever. What is the wisdom behind this? Number one, awankasa abayno. Awo electric cars and NYB. Electric cars no so enko import bi mbai. This is a governmental entrepreneurship yala yinika say okofa companies, automobile companies. Ema we set up ha. There were assembling of vehicles here. Nana Akufo-Addo just about last year June, Okoko commission B. Ewo Amasama Osede. Kia. Akoye the management na ewie. I say car no on smoke. Inti on your car I don't for use. So in a way of punishing you so that you and you know we use taxations to deter people from usage of certain commodities. Until you want to deter Ghanaians from the usage of automobiles. One must smoke. Okay, what is the alternative? The alternative number one is not even available. Hey, baby, battery exchange points now. You don't even have one at the fast house. I want another Akufo-Addo.
And a DNT and also orgy tax bank.
Emission levy.
One understanding of the emission levy.
In there. Car biara or use to smoke or produce to smoke, and we know diesel and petrol cars in our and these are the cars we use in this country. Until Wama rate from 75 cedis, that is tricycles, aboboya and all that, what to fuel what do motorcycles 75 cedis, them ranging to 300 cedis with the heavy truck duties. They are going to pay 300 cedis. Some are going to pay 150 and all that. You've done this because we're aiming to smoke. Now, America in there, smoke
frequency of payment.
I say per annum. Per annum.
Say,
let's talk about the wisdom behind it and the purpose of this. You want to prevent people from producing smoke because you think they're part of global offending warming. These activities are not helping. And you know, Chrome ha and go for what bapam with what pam with no. So watch an amwa. The go for what you are tasai. Me to smoke. I want to know why you will know. What you want? You see, we should not behave like ostriches. Number one, what I'm saying is that the alternative.
Crazy now. You be one man who be me consuming you. Emissions na urban. Do we agree? Say affect your climate no.
What emissions or affect climate? Emissions. Member. What you car emissions? And on ye ahabaya. What is so?
I'm asking you. Do you agree that emissions, smoke, a free car, exhaust, mu urban?
All type of a carbon.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you see it here once here. And maybe I'm masking.
I'm not masking.
Question me and say, do you agree that emissions are a free car to urban smoke and we see a free car to
it has effect on the climate? Yes.
And I'm a Musa question.
No, now, where be some 3 times?
Would you say and how a brain
or the how brain? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Or how a buyer sworn. Ube pese yensiano ana.
Bepede yensiano.
Okay. Propose how we should deal with it.
Enti enka nyimpa yet na ho. Na yehu ye how. Na yehu kwan ye fada ye so how na no. Yes, the madi o ye how. empede enkofu will be used because in there you don't want people to use because it's not helping us. It is not like we are encouraging you to use. Just pay and use. That is not what we want. And the tax on it means in there, we don't want you to use so that we don't have that thing. But if the purpose is that pay and use so that we will still have it, then it is not solving anything.
If you want to tackle emissions, it means you say, men use gasoline vehicle, men use petrol powered vehicle.
What has the state proposed as the alternative? What has been the state facilitation in getting the alternatives available? The state cannot.
Other jurisdictions are for emissions. You use gasoline or
other jurisdiction, the alternative is available. People have started using the alternative. If you don't want to pay the emission, if you don't want to pay the emission, you can go and buy those electric cars. You can use it comfortably.
Almost.
Okay, my swim be some.
What make you point? Be now, person be did. Okay. Okay. Ya no mo de and shisheye eba no. There be omo no say blame omo. Because one many pano a wo ba beji bibia free no ho no. Wan tiase enhunu se butayempo esiwani suo no. Ebeboa wo ene ono ankasa. Da bia no kasa bibe. And no koto road where the aye kan wa ha no. Say MOT certificate. Okwa ko twa. Ubetua exhaust no. You be a 2.0. Ubetua say 3.0. Ubetua say intino so upe. Na wakwa akoto car epunwusie bebre. Upe no akoto car e less emission. Enu ne di free mu ama unleaded fuel ayi nyina eba no. Na se wan chire mu anchire wa. Wo se wo de obepunwusie ni sa. Na wunni ehwa kade eni sika a wo de kwa ekopunu ama yayi abia efinu ananwusie no bebrede afiri mu a de asia ne se ebi kura obegi sika no onfa nkoye ade pote a enti a yade gi sika no yamfa nkonkoye
wafa sika no wonfa nkoye hwe
uka enu a enu bua dan se be ma nwusie abakuye yo
me ba bodu ho wafa yet we yetua roadworthy yenyim bebi aska no yeden oko road fund na se kwan no no tochima we dey siesie emission levy yetua emi no na ade no ba haw ye yankasa asinyimpa anamboa yen na ebo huma koyemu enye ni nyimpa no we na ebe suffer for it into aban so register na odbo to edura ma enye nyimpa na onam dem nti origi emission levy na na odbeden
eno na me blame the ode buy no o would bibi pote bia kutia ye nti a so wogisa da bia me di free mandate to in levy no woni me nipa ewu we highways so as a result of car and crofo agite ediasi ho ya dia no wo radio no say e kan yampene ye kan o 75 cedis o 75 cedis for
tricycles.
And the just what the shots here from point there,
yes,
75 up to maximum of 300.
Yes.
So we quite highway so the see again 300 no up to be 63 tons. Ohwe e koba dodo anam wo kwan na wo yakwaji loan baby dia be ye kwan no a e wo se nka kwan ni timi tua no ka no. Ohwe koba dodo anam so. That koba dodo anam so be say 24 your friend say azo no be say nsia azo no be say num azo no be say 9 no ono ne yeso ntua 300 cedis no 300 cedis is it not average of about 100 cedis 1 cedi a day
wafa on do 1 cedi say 365 days in a year
wouldn't say dear all say kwan no a ono enu 1 cedi a day no he's quiet and then you are saying it and they kokohwe kwan no so ne koko gina kwan toji pampan so ohwe highways ho ohwe trucks no gina ho no ohwe nwusie na obudi no and na sanipa no obusa nwusie no yesi ontua less than 1 cedi a day
wafa on intina ye kade enwa na wo bu oman no hia Mama Casam, say Ficaswa, Neroko Winnie Johnson. Queries were quite not. Do you know the irony of it? Baby, I will pay a baby now, a Jansen, I don't know. Massive photos. Jansen, Nala, what the and baby Nala, what the car quino. What if you were the ban? Main road now on mine, Yadi is Cayano. The Mukofun was say quino. What a baby no qua, when you said that I'm not a wayano, one for me a day. And nobody is.
Don't move away. As some of the two, and you say, Coco Gina Pampanso, and someone Hayaw. Truck.
Best for the master meeting say, oh, yes, self-explanatory. One for over Yata. And now we're ready budget. We're ready budget. We're for Yata. Us the on G.
Me say, let the person know what this 63 tons and nam kwansuano. Engine no, a boom no. Yes, on tria less than 1 cedi a day no. Ma ononka se on tria. Man go under the auspices of politics. And can say
no auspices of politics. But there must be a rationale, and the rationale should come with a purpose, and the purpose must be achievable and attainable. It is a Abaina Kasani policy no region. If the rationale is lost, because at the end of the day, I'm meeting here, Mami there. If all it is in there, I feel to ya 100 cities, because my car is in that range.
You appreciate where I'm coming from. Nipa na all pollute you know. Ma no nka se ontua.
Aban or your nasade to identify those people who are creating the problem. Only time we talk Richard there. Nipa na opam na nefu na otweja tum no. Obetua yin.
Enya no oka.
That honorable who's
what is shasi free.
That be honorable who's
wa identify.
Wo kala be yusu. Nutu wosu afi. And obi ni ja oboto no dakore oyepa
crazy identify obi or say themes free
o ka identify you a class of there because of the easy
a
class of users be of a particular yes transportational users
as a unkuta car obetua bi
that me driver na mo phone car no tua bi driver na mo phone car no tua bi a driver move from Kano to Ebia or the back to the Mamsu to Ebia.
Are you not suggesting, say, wo, when you're driver, who knew how to drive, and you say driver, just so uncle your driver's license, and son what me car, and now wo, when you're airways now argue, say, and says your cast on your license. I know to make sure the question. I don't know who identify Nipanua or Pollutu. Rather than you saying it.
Say, I bind offer a better to Wuka, who should be a nature because any baby I call service. So that's it. You might catch a food baby, what can you do? But Abino is not being lazy here. On first, she be to her. Say, if indeed Abino feel there or prevent emission of smoker, about the conditions at all. There, you do assessment. When you qualify for them assessment, now you will not pay. So you see that anyone now, they will work hard to meet the standards so that they will not pay. But since you are saying the blanket,
Ukuta motor vehicle. At the end of the year, roadworthy.
About you answer,
which I say, sending in said there's a frequency be. Unkuta motor vehicle, and require say, roadworthy, so you can choose to say, maybe the emissions mean to you.
No, all taxations are avoidable. If avoidable, yeah. All taxations. It is not about this particular tax. All taxes are avoidable. Today, e-levy by. People decided to avoid e-levy.
Let me develop a point.
Okay.
Then comment on it.
Okay.
It's the same mandatory road tax, road to no. Nipa do a cab, But na or no own a motor vehicle. That's not all can be. Then there's smaller vehicles and a private vehicles and a commercial vehicle. Commercial vehicles, they spend more time on the highways. It will be a private vehicle, or in them chrome. A chrome say, unya chance enko speed ekese nti wo so bi kura be ka kire wo say would be a smaller commercial vehicle now they run it circle dan soma ya se bi kura unya accident a knock for knock omo de pempem krofo mu kakra ense ekese na ekọ na eba na emum saa car no di si highway so say me de ko se car so a me de ko se winnie bar speed kura bi abekọ no and conditions on the highway no or to car na twene a you may even lose the whole vehicle because beyond repairs okay a bus here come mandated towing no commercial for no were outnumbered by private for no yampene afi yedin afi bu se commercial vehicle anadwo 24 hour na wo kan no onnam na obi de car si kwam okwa straight at it na odi akobom na driver no wu na ne mate wu na a passenger no bi kura etimi wu na busa ho at the time no na you say on 80 cities for a whole year on 80 cities nanka obi the motor vehicle no esi hwa na waye de benia yakwa koyi afri ho it the responsibility would be on nipa no a ye de contract ama no say kokoyi car ni fri ho no wan koyi amfri ho na wo fa bi unua bi as a result of a stationary vehicle no konya sin no wu a ehon sunsanso no ye de ko ono no so yesi da bi yampene ya advocate o radio susu ya ne yampene the see ya samba ne say emissions no ye ja ama driver for no category omo a obekwa akoye ni roadworthy no omo dey quiet omo ye din enna political party army battalion no age on the various airwaves yampene yanye say there be muji yesika mudi yeden at the end of the day no they are all pollute no ye pese ye tin voice a ebe ye dan ye tin voice say one waji atum say onam highway okuta ebia a truck kese maximum no 300 cedis for the year no I say less than 1 cedi a day no say nipa no adan ye nti ono no voice whether obetua ana ontua
wafa politicians compete with ideas. So if you bring an idea, I compete with your idea. We are not saying there, they wrote a kaya or says you came. So mandatory. It's a lazy man's approach. And the state can still go ahead. The okay, yeah, would the kabi assess you are. Now I want to say if you are, yeah, I want to can if you are. And I bet you are about the mistake. Who will cry for that? You think that I will cry there? Why there? But if you make it there, then it is like you are getting cheap money. So work for the money. That is what we are telling the people there. Work for the money. It is state cars, towing cars. Then okay, we do patrol like the police for your patrol. Into another, you can have a call centers. What fraud though? Kabi assesi abeka junction. You come and tow it. The person come with punishment. Now say echo maybe a park or no parking. Everyone will look and I'm wa. Everyone know what you sky into ya. That and have you seen any politician fighting against that? Because it is a wrongdoing. Yes, this one is also a wrongdoing, but it should not cover everybody so that it will be lazy for people to work there. Because imagine. So, minimum there, Ghana, you have 5 million cars into a year, no, may the mistake, bulk, whether they will work or not. But let the work go on. Until there is an alternative to that.
So, what's your view of the rule, sir? Every vehicle on a public thoroughfare has to be insured. Are you saying, sir, you only pay insurance because you may be damaging somebody's things?
No. Insurance, has so many dynamics. Okay, or mandatory because you when you have a problem, it may be your private problem, but you are not often externalities, and somebody must pay for the externality. It is a I would the worker. Now a dark say ubinadia. That is an externality. The person not one should not suffer for it. So there should be a way to compensate the more lost of nimpa na on a party to our na enjoy my enjoy Okay, so that is economic funding principle. It makes sense that no, because you can affect the next person. Okay, so do this. Yes, a mission. Okay.
You want to say mission now? Who be boss one? What to baby? Oh, you know, and no. I
was raising it. A mission. Yes, there is an externality. But what I'm asking you there, what is the modus operandi of the more because anytime you catch the road worth, say ukocha, ye him the road fund. Road fund that the purpose of it the one face say a coin. Na amanfo one fado. Anamboa. So there is direct benefit from Adina Yere no. Now, Emina was make hum infama obiwa ye ya menya how. Inti sa aban no ojiska na. Emina meye third party externality no. How do I benefit from that money? So what it means in there? I may keep suffering by inhaling those emissions from whoever you are collecting money from. I will not be benefiting even when I'm sick. But government will be raking in money because I will be suffering.
Okay, the principle is that, according to you, what to be one cabin shame. Now, ubi, according to motor vehicle. Now or no, exhaust fumes. Now, aba. Now, what maybe. Now, wire. Externality now, no. I pay yourself nipa no according to motor vehicle. No. Yashishaman, okay, then you have to make a contribution towards cleaning the environment so that will be an area. Motor vehicle. If I could finish.
Finish.
Once the one junior, so one wacky, the woman more. Leave the motor user to say I won't pay. Now, all my reasons in tia he won't pay. Nipakani and Diano, Kaonano, Karano. Use of the car no the nam kwaso no ma ono yanche the voice
do
tell us on tia
I am a car user my American in there so what the policy buy and work there a man for aya won the madi it when your cardiac issues
upper respiratory diseases
whatever inti ya beji the miske na ya the creative fund na Ghana nyi biara Obenya damu yare baby no. Damu fan ye the boy na. Inka bondo be politician of contest. Like I won't contest.
I didn't be contest.
I'm contesting because somebody is going to make money without improving the situation. Because say energy miska there may emit fumes into the atmosphere. Into make creative problem. Your focus is energy miska.
Okay.
Your focus is not to stop me from using it.
O party, NDC, on flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama. Oba make his suggestions to him. Say in the current settings, so BG exams emissions levy biana. Oba unchemana.
Hey, my flag bearer has so many policies on the table. Meaning the Oko Eastern region at the district from the decentralized mining policy.
Me say, if this is would you suggest would you suggest to him
the flag bearer is in talks with the international community.
Man can say minka flag bearer na semo. Wo kwasi. Would you make a suggestion?
Unless I say make a suggestion. And the suggestion is to the current government and to the coming government. The people who will pay who will suffer.
The voice of the driver. And your driver no. The owner of the vehicle now. Or the car and nam kwaso no. Want na otuan road tax. Or no na otuan insurance no.
But I'm advocating for Amino. Third parties are. Yebo humo the madino madachin yaya. The miss cannot marriage, what is our benefit? Oh, what the madinum.
And the catch was emblem or more.
And he said, if we are not going to benefit, and then the government will be doing the service to us. It's either the government actually brings an alternative, I will not suffer, and me yara makoto medru another say I benefit the own to me yeshe but what partition kwofo to take care of me
or emission zone that emission zone put the car go for no watua £12.50 £12.50 immediately at the can right emission zone for 1 day per no watua sir
what is
it also so yeah
also benefit e wo why are some yet hey emi no we the health insurance no cry ya contribute no cry no yara ya esanso ye to ska
it went me and confirm say you could possibly suggest
I have said that what I have said here is a suggestion to the current government. Let's open that.
Yabusa question.
Oh yes, I'm suggesting to John Dramani Mahama.
Says would you consider suggesting to John Dramani Mahama that notwithstanding the protestations today, say womugusu eje emissions levy, wo catch and say oba on committee say obetwam. Would you do that?
And Yanintrum say, tell me, Casaya, Menka the Nintrum, Messi the rationale. Send to the Madeno. Who are those who are going to benefit from the Madeno Equagino? Because yeah, I didn't get over a month for
one year, Esla.
I don't know Mahama. And on the buy so for a purpose.
Hey, at the time, that's a band the opposing party, no, I can't.
At the time, no, opposing party is there, on Yaza Papa.
Opposing party ne buy no Esla no otwam
watum
enti the same way munya dem ye no
so for all into the academy dia
it na just say na once the opposing party na kan no so one pene kura no oba ye no kan ho
na do a oko fighting for VAT anko fuya in the electricity a ye dey ba dampo or ba je VAT wodo ye dem ade no
it ni nyina emu no every year brand ne kun Ghana yenti de all country enough yembe round it up na yes sir to need 100.9 FM na you know the way forward enti kun Ghana so there or and peppy for the household enti na kun Ghana for the past 10 years and we are associated with NEAT 100.9 FM on the Miminty console. Right, na kwe free na obetimi di nchiremu ade abre.
Well funny. Of anything.
Over the other Roma as young as you.
Eish. Okay, me sure say on chon capsules ne Mr. K ne. Okay, kahona ama
just abukuma.
The reason why you feel you're as young as I am.
Right.
Okay, nti ewe amobi akwaba. Na yemobia aha se ne dae ye no Kunlu Ghana the product abedwa so se ebo emma ne mema ama yetumi asiesie ye ho kama ewe dedi kan ye be kan araba bazen ho asem kakra se wo yo ba se ne da meka no na se wubu wonsa akoba ne se ye natural na e kan ye ho na ye ntumi do without ntino se wo yo ba na wubu wonsa na se ye wo ya oji ho anje utie moche ye do wada ne calendar wo area ho a wo wa me pacho pe araba bazen ni bito nanom fama me na wo de won sebuo no moja ne ani eyetum emunsu odu enka boni bi esan wo ma me pacho pa araba bazen ni bi na to ma me o de po na wanya broni be se white na candidiasis me pacho pe araba bazen ni bi na to fama me na wo de we bu nsa na emu moja ne ba bebre on se moja ne tu a untimi nya wo ho hwe me pacho enye normal pe ababaz ni bi na to fama me na wo yo ba na wuni atenkan wo mpemu a ama wukunu buafu a o peja wa chese waka do akwa ebusuan ni ma hwe o ka hwe onti a me pacho wo de twa ababaz ni bi na bra be di adanse e fa kire me pacho wo so ahoden a e wo se wunya wo mpemu na eni ho a me pacho pa ababaz ni bi na to fama me awo na emba me pacho ababaz ni ebe ni na e di amount Oyo bana so menses no eba enne adechia emba eba this week eba this month the following month emba me pacho pe araba bazen ni binanom fama me na ode o menses no e ade etwa kra che se emma wonim se enyenyi senso na onyema pacho araba bazen ebetumi aboa Kunlu Ghana Limited omosan wejo efene honchon capsules na honchon capsules there ne se oyo be ma na se wo jonso a wo bradi se wo chim ansa na jonso na ba me pacho peonchon capsules na no fama me o prostate problems nyina ebehwe na esiesi kama e de amount me pa cho Mr. Q enso me ma se watenka no wo form a me hyew oba na enu ma baba na be ma so no Mr. Q e de face no e na ma ne wo fa o se o younger sayam me pa cho bomode na pe Mr. Q na no fama me na wo de ne se e bia wo ne oba ne hye ya within 30 seconds na ho esane me pa cho enye sane yankopon bono pe Mr. Q na correct premature ejaculation problems in your farmer kin tablet and to say when you mojambro so I friend hypertension me pa cho pe kin tablet na no for me enu am about ya baba zin honchon capsules Mr. Q any kin tablet nyina no upedue to abetimi akokun Ghana limited ewo East Legon Champion Junction and now betimi afre ahomatrufo ya mbebubo iso 0244139176 0244139176 and 0204139176 0204139176 and 0274139176 0274139176 na onam pharmacies bi e wo Ghana ha herbal any chemical shops bi a ubenya nnoi bi ato wo farma noisi
right and na ekwe free na all the details na abre quite an interesting scenario abra or church options are your enyinemu. So in getting out na no and yene Lawrence Kwesi Gatti emunkomudie ene ade aba enti yemuso na o final comments Kwesi
obiama message na our hotel
okay
I say azorukun hoteliers pa on your water bill and they can't break even enti entrepreneurship na yereka no ebi na yereka awankasa de botuma kopa bosia botuma nyanyimpa a de nhihye beto ha botuma aye adwuma no but enyoma anka yede oman no so ye ma wo so wonhaw ma inyamfa so zibi no na akoda wakaw enti enyim de kofo bebre wo fie akwantum na wo baba ye adwuma wasan so ogun
water bills and na ekum hoteliers
yes message open phone do
no it's true the cost of a year a liter of water to the hotel
emakasa no mami around the school wo Winba Junction na school no sebe on your boarding school on and they be more for ba they can use the toiletries and bosum otum the bill ba 8,000 yes in so what do ye keke just a day
what do ye keke
like what Johnsa and what flash
water is becoming expensive
very expensive it is around the school no what bro water bill 6,000 8,000 6,000 8,000 edge school fees no now it calculate there average the 6,000 times 12 in a year I need to water in running the school but you ordinary about your light kakra use for ICT na de no be hwe no be wie na chere meanwhile no na so create employment ema sebe emofra ba bebre a we a wonya adwuma ye nti me final comment in there ye na yim de aban de ode adwuma ya fu bebre won sesi fom and majority of entrepreneurs are disappointed. We are hoping them our president Akufo-Addo Nankaso Kan on the 4th of August will super delegate Congress. If the president is hoping that the next government will make effort to take us from this economic difficulty, I will also pray that Ghanaians or the Mwenyum our man baby do it. I say in system oba na system so baba baby our man ase akodu no obi a wa ye bi da what's follow who knows the road John Dramani Mahama wa ye bi da menyo ka sei ogudo a orutu anamon a ekwan po obafa do a ode besiesie oman ogudo a odi hu nkomo encher bia no ye ranimate baba se oba ye manifesto batuado Ghana football hu ekwana experienced leader like John Dramani Mahama or the Oman Bafado. Now, how be brea, Yellow Coma, de Bia, and Yensagu Yetri. Then my Otumu Oyi Yefi Dom Somu. Now, or the Jumabo body out of the difficulty, we got beat today at Wabo Gas. I had the $1 billion yet the year. A man there, obi today for the past 7 years, Obi today, Abuapapo, or owusu bempa when ye juma ye the mara you be create a juma for whoever is even offending or time John Dramani Mahama no when you be aye.
Okay, right. Lawrence Kwesi Gate of the NDC and Otenene Ugusutie Neat 100.9 FM ma wasun enguso as we cross over to Peace 104.3 na major news bulletin yetimi akofa ede abrem na yede ako just about 4 p.m. na major news bulletin no yede ebebrem